friends, this is Laura with Potpourri of Life. I hope that you're doing great. I've had a few people reach out to me and ask to see what my apothecary room looked like. And as you saw, I'm going to try to swivel this a little bit. On the intro you could see some of it, where there's plenty of herbs in half-gallon jars. I have books and other half-gallon jars. Behind me is a desk, but in front of it I put a table so that I can put mixtures together and stuff. And then behind me over there, that hutch has more herbs in it, but this is mostly my tea cabinet. I don't know if you can see it, where I have a variety of tea blends in there. Some are for me, some are for colds, some are for Lyme disease. I actually have a few that I've made for Lyme disease. And then I have some respiratory stuff. Those are the main ones that I work with, and yeah, there's quite a bit up there because some of them are just independent herbs that I use only in teas. But that's what I have over here, is a bunch of herbs over here that are my teas. Now, this is the only one so far that I have covered up in terms of having, covered there. But this room is typically with no lighting. And the heat is set at very, very low in here. So there's no heat to destroy the herbs. So as much as I would like to have more drapes on all my herbs and stuff, I don't have that feasibility right now. So this room is our spare bedroom. We have 2 bedrooms, and so this is our spare one that we've decided that this will be the apothecary. It would be where I make some dry herbs. In the kitchen I still will make some of the liquid things because I want to have the counter and stuff like that, unless I can use it here. But a lot of times I might need the stove to warm things up. One of the things that I wanted to share, that not everything is made with herbs that I grow or I purchase. I do purchase some herbs that I can't grow. But one of the things I do have on hand is I have this one box that I use for this. I actually bought it for David. I bought this size and another size down. But in it I have these type treatments. I have a sleep one, so nights that I can't sleep well. There's a pain one. There's some headache ones and a few other throat calm, like a cold medicine type thing. So those are like, all of a sudden you're not feeling good, I grab one of those. Now for sleep, for tea, I generally have like a chamomile, or there's some other herbs that I use that I really enjoy, so I might use those. Generally speaking, at night I drink a cup of tea to calm me down, but lately I've been sleeping so good I don't need a cup of tea, and I'm really grateful for that because the tea makes me get up more frequently. And I will be working on some tea preparations and some tinctures soon using corn silk. And I use regular herbs like you would use in your cooking, like oregano, thyme, a few of those that I can put together for some healing medicine for myself. I do want to share a little bit my feelings about herbal medicine. I love it. I honestly do. For the most part, it helps me on a lot of things. But I do want to say that there's one herbal blend that I'll be making, and I'll explain it to you when I go to make it, that I use. It's an antibacterial type of treatment in place of an antibiotic that I typically get. Now, I'm trying to do away with antibiotics. But as I say that, I just want to say that sometimes medical intervention is necessary. But my goal, my husband's goal, is to use the clinics and the hospitals and all that less frequently, because I've been seeing so much on social media that it kind of scares me. Not only that, the interaction, the lack of response in clinics and stuff, I'm just kind of like, I don't feel at peace going in anymore. And I find that to be disheartening. Now, the nice thing about Lyme disease, I'm going to tell you, I think it has been a real blessing to have had to deal with chronic persistent Lyme. Now, right now I'm doing very well. I'm sleeping. I don't have bone pain. There's a lot of things that it's like, oh, I don't miss those symptoms at all. And so I'm very grateful. Now, some physicians might say, well, it's the drugs. Well, many of those physicians did not want me. My Lyme doctor, he was pushing it not to be mean to me, not to be mean at all. And other doctors will agree that sometimes you need that medical intervention. But some of them were just kind of like surprised at how many I was on. But you want to know something? I was on them because I wanted that disease to go away. I don't wish Lyme disease on anybody. But what has transpired even before Lyme disease is I learned a lot. I started researching different things that I could do to help support my body, to help support my kids, to help support my husband. And that's why I got into it. So when Lyme disease came along, and I'm like, no, I don't want to be on antibiotics because then what if I ever really need it? And sometimes I wonder if we've reached that peak because I have a situation, an ongoing situation that comes and goes and I need an antibiotic. But I'm doing my best to stay off the antibiotic. And sometimes where I know I have the infection, I'll just go make a tea and I'm all set. I'm going to share some of that with you, not necessarily today, maybe I'll add it at the end, but more than likely it'll be in another video. The purpose of doing herbs is to make our bodies healthy. Like, just think about it. We use oregano in our cooking, but we can also use it in our medicine. I can use thyme, and I can use peppermint, chamomile, feverfew, the many that we can grow. Now, I grow a lot of herbs, and sometimes I just fill up some of these jars 4 times over. And I mean, some of the jars I have like 4, like the red clover. That stuff just grows really well in my yard. And so I have like 4 half-gallons of that I pick, and I use that in a tea. I will take that and I'll add it with some bee balm. I grow a lot of bee balm, and it is one of my most favorite herbal flowers, and it has the most beautiful scent. And I think I have, let me see, I thought I had some right here. I must have put it away. But even when I open each jar, the smell is just like, oh, it smells healing, it smells delightful. And valerian root, a lot of people, if you know anything about valerian root, it's great for sleep and it's great for pain. And I have it growing, and the flowers smell beautiful. I walk by that plant and I'm like, and I'm drawn, and it grows for quite a while during the summer months. At the end of this past summer, I did dig up some of the roots because it's the root that helps with the pain, and it helps with sleep, and it helps calm things down. I'll go into each herb at a future point, but what's really kind of refreshing is to be able to walk by and know that, oh, that's valerian root flowers, and it smells amazing. But if you get a valerian root capsule, or you have the powder, it smells horrendous. Some people say it smells like dirty socks. I say it smells like a dirty diaper sometimes. But I've gotten used to the smells, but I know when either sometimes my husband needs it for pain, and I can, like if I get up in the morning, I'm like, oh, he had some valerian root. It helps you sleep when you're dealing with pain. Last night, with all the snow we've gotten, my husband has had horrible, horrible back pain. And so, you know, I've been going to bed earlier so I'm not up when he gets home, which has actually been kind of good. But I'm up at 4 a.m., which is not, I'm back to my old way of sleeping, which I kind of like. But anyway, so I woke up around 3, and I know he had gotten up to go to the bathroom, and so I just kind of like, I got up and I came back. I said, can I give you a massage? So I took the comfrey ointment that I make, and I rubbed that right into his back. And he woke up this morning, he goes, my back feels better. Because what I did was, he had a heat pack that he started when he came to bed. I was out cold when he got home, but when I got up, we both were up at similar times, and I knew he was still somewhat awake. So I rubbed that into his back and then replaced the heat pack, not hot, 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 because you don't want somebody to lay on a hot pad. Otherwise, their skin will burn. And he's a redhead. His skin will burn. So we put that on, and he was able to lay back down. He woke up this morning. He said he didn't have the pain. So that's without, I think he took some valerian root before he went to bed, but he was in pain when I gave him that massage. By the time he got up around, I think it was 8:30, he was walking around, not limping, not complaining, or any of that. So sometimes it's really nice to have herbal solutions on hand so that you don't have to run to the doctors after shoveling. I don't know how much snow we got out there. Right now, because it's piled up, it's like 2/3 up the way of our lamppost. And I'm really grateful for the snow because I look out, it's snowing, it's beautiful, it's absolutely, it fills my heart. But then comes spring and I'm like, oh, the flowers and the greenery, the birds, and I'm fascinated with nature. But with that fascination comes ways for us to be able to heal our bodies, to feed our bodies. And so that's why I'm really grateful for this room. My husband does not mind me having this room. I mean, I have some printers over here. Behind the camera is my husband's area. Actually, it doesn't look too bad, but that's his turf, okay? That has his computer, that has his stuff. But I've pretty much taken up this room. And then we have our business, our home type stuff, our, filing cabinets and stuff. But this is my domain. The lights are generally off because, and there goes the camera. Why is it doing that? I hate it when that happens. So we just have decided, and he's okay with it too, because he's learning more and more about herbs. I've set up drawers so that he knows what's what. Everything is labeled. And the thing that I'm doing, and I've always done it, I have a book that I've been putting things in, but I'm actually changing it up a little bit so that I can put in what we have. Now, there are tons of books. I've got, let's see. I have tons of books. I'm going to change this view. So up here is just a segment of my books. There's like medical herbalism. I'll get a few books down. I have a variety of herbal medicines, but like herbs for health and healing. This book here, Medical Herbalism, I really, really like. It's pretty in-depth, so it's kind of like a study book. Another book that I really like, I got this, I went to a functional medicine doctor's, and I was in the waiting room, and I noticed that she had this book on hand, and it's called Healing with Whole Foods. The reason I ordered it, because she came out to get me, and I said, this book is amazing. I had read a couple of chapters while waiting for her because it was like, it caught my attention. That's why when it's really important for us to understand how food can also be healing as well. And this book here is from my mother-in-law, the American Medical Association. It's a family medical guide. It's old. I probably should get an updated one. But being frugal like I am, I'm just kind of like, nope, I've got plenty of books, and I've got some books that I still need to read through. This room also has garden books and stuff too. I've been going through, let me see, these books. I have a few others too. This is the Holistic Orchard because I hope to do an orchard book. And the other thing that I'm working on right now is I've been drawing out plans to make an edible, floral, herbal garden in an area where we get a lot of rain buildup. So I am designing a garden out there. So I picked up this book on stonework, but I don't think that's going to work in it. But it's something that David's really interested in. But this here is growing an edible landscape. And so I've been going through a variety of these books to kind of like say, okay, how can I make this area so it's not a lake out there for a couple of weeks? It's an area that stays damp all summer. And so I've been studying, while we get all this snow, what can I do with that time? Well, I can certainly be working with my herbs, getting medicines prepared for the spring-summer allergy season, or for pain too, because I think my valerian root capsules need to be refilled. I need to make some more tinctures, and I have quite a few tinctures, but and I need to upgrade my husband's respiratory blend teas. So there's a lot of things that I can do to keep busy. I like having all these dried herbs on hand, and what's interesting is, like, I never harvested dandelion root until I learned about it. But to get started, I mean, I was getting a few dandelions out of my yard, so I ordered some because I wanted to work with an experiment with dandelion root. In doing so, as I started growing, I no longer order dandelion root because I just go out and harvest it in my yard. The same thing applies to valerian root. I didn't grow it, but I tried it, and I'm like, wow, this really works. Valerian root, by the way, if you decide to use valerian root for sleep and pain, and it's good for other things, and I'll go into that in another video, but valerian root, when you get it in a capsule, it really will have an off smell. It's something that you don't particularly care for, but it works really good. That summer, after I had learned about it, and after I picked up a small package of the valerian root powder, someone in the neighborhood, it was actually over a bit, not in our direct neighborhood, but in town, and she had a bunch of herbal plants, and one of them was valerian root. I picked up a bunch of different things that she had. She had wormwood or artemisia, and I have that. I have it in jars. That stuff grows like crazy. So, and I could show you a big jar. I'll show you one of the jars. So this is artemisian, and it grows. This one has some seeds on it, so I might take some of those seeds and see if I can start some plants inside to see if I can do that. And that's the other thing is, with your plants, you can also harvest the seeds to grow more, because some plants are not perennial. Some keep coming back. My wormwood here grows all the time. But it'd be really kind of nice to have extra seeds to be able to share with others or to sell. You know, I'm not really focused on that right now, but it's something that I have to play around with to see how that works. So I have to grow some of these seeds and see if that happens. So there's a lot of stuff that's been going on, and I am also currently doing a study with herbs and stuff that I'd like to complete. So I don't share a lot right now. I've been asked if I would. So I'm going to be sharing some things that I use all the time that work for us. And like I said earlier, I'm trying to avoid antibiotics for a personal issue that I have to deal with ongoing. So far, I'm doing really well. Keeping it at bay. I get the symptoms, but I take the tree and I'm okay. So I'll share that recipe down the line, and that's mostly for women, although men might benefit from it as well. It's just one of those things that if I can stay away from the antibiotics a little bit longer, then it'll be better for my body. Now, I know a lot of people might be asking, you know, is it because of all the antibiotics that I was on with Lyme disease? I was on antibiotics for at least 4 years, and I couldn't handle them. My body just couldn't handle the Herxheimer response, and sometimes too many antibiotics are not good for you. But when you have a physician who truly is experienced in this and wants to make you well, which was his goal, and I believe that was his goal for me, I tried. I truly tried. And I don't know if the Herxheimer, the response to it all, was really making it worse or not. So what I was saying is, somebody might question, did all those have an effect on how antibiotics are affecting me now? I'm not sure. There's some antibiotics that give me major headache. There's pain meds that cause me major headaches, so that's why I use valerian root and turmeric and so forth, because I can't do the pharmaceutical pain meds. Now, do I want to be addicted to them? Absolutely not. But the point is sometimes, like after a surgical procedure, or you get hurt really bad or something, you might need that to relieve the pain. I can't, because I will get that migraine. I don't even know if it's a migraine. It hurts so much, I just want to chop the top of my head off because it hurts so bad. And I've woken up screaming with that kind of pain. So I try to avoid pain meds as much as possible. And I've never been one to seek pain. Although if you go to the hospital emergency room, they sometimes think you are if you're in there for pain. So I don't go for pain. Now, the other thing is, with the antibiotics, I just want to make sure you understand, I am not a doctor, a physician, a psychologist, or a dietitian. My experience is things that I've learned on my journey. And I'm really happy with what I've learned. And I've been doing some major healings on all aspects of my life. And one of the best things that I've come to the conclusion with is that I could have been angry at my past, and with Lyme disease. I mean, it destroyed my career. It destroyed my, it just took a lot out of me, and I lost friends. If that's what you call friends who walk away and just don't want nothing to do with you. I think what it is when people walk away, they don't understand. They don't understand how to be, they don't know what to do for you. And when you're so weak and tired, you don't even know what to ask. So was it something for me to be bitter about? No. Actually, there's some things that in my mind I don't want to share because some people were very mean. But the point is, I had a few physicians that understood what I was going through, and that was the important part, is because when I went, I knew that they believed me, I knew that they trusted me, and I fired a few because, it doesn't exist, let's go do this test, let's go do, and it's like I had already finally done all the testing, and it confirmed a lot of things. So, am I better? I believe I am. Do I have flares? I absolutely do. But for the most part, it's kind of cool to have gone through the trials of life to come through to a point where I am thankful. I am thankful for this journey that has caused a lot of turmoil and a lot of stress and a lot of frustration. It's during this time where medicine has changed in terms of getting care. It's very different nowadays. I don't blame the doctors necessarily. I do blame insurance because they're making it very difficult. There are some tests that one physician wants me to get some testing done. And all those tests have copays of one has a copay of $100. Two of them will have copays of $200 each. And another one, I don't know if I do go for it, it'd be at least $100 copay. And I'm just like, and they're all due now. That's two for $600. I don't have it. So do I want to go for them? As I get older, because of all the controversy, I am kind of skeptical. I'm also skeptical because how medicine has changed. We're now clinicians who work within a medical practice, and I go to 2 hospitals that have that. I haven't been to one in a very long time. But because of that, their billing cycle, their billing system is separate. So when you want to see if something is covered, you got to call billing. Well, they don't know. And you call the insurance company. They don't know. And it could be something you've had done before. They don't know. So then you have to go to your physician's office. And see, I don't feel that I should have to go to my doctors for the code, because this is something they all do. Well, there's a thing called, there's supposed to be full transparency of costs. It does not exist, because I checked to confirm on one of the tests that I spoke about. And like the DEXA for osteoporosis, it confirmed that I had it. And but I had to pay yeah, over $100. And sure, it went to my deductible, or that out-of-pocket amount. But that's when I was first told. I was told, nope, that's covered. That's a biannual thing, that's covered. But because I was diagnosed, it wasn't covered. So my thing is if the doctor orders something and I don't have any pre-existing conditions, which by the way was taken out, but it exists. It still exists. So I just, at least with my insurance company. And so this is why I'm doing my best to take care of me so I don't need things. And as you get older, you start realizing that you start questioning, do I really want this test? Do I really want to know? And as I come out of the Lyme disease, as I come to this other place of healing, using my herbs, trying to eat healthy foods, and focusing on the good in life, reaping the joy that comes from accepting where we are in life, I don't want to know. And I know I can't explain that to my physicians. I can't explain it to people that I know, because a lot of people are saying, but if you know. You know, and I'm not talking just about cancer. I'm just talking about general things. Sometimes, like even the osteoporosis, I wanted to go back, and this would be the year I would go back to have the DEXA redone. I don't have the money to go. So in saying that, and we've set some aside because my husband has some big dental work coming up. So it's kind of like, I'm a budget person. I have to think all the way through, and I'm just like, well, if I still have osteoporosis, then I still have it. My goal was to work towards getting rid of it, and that was why I wanted the test. So I've decided that on things like that, I'm just going to live with the way life is right now. Because for the first time in a very long time, I am at peace. And I love my life. I love that I have gone through an interesting journey in life. It's not over. I'm sure there's going to be some more waves. But to be able to sit back and look at the things that I've learned about life in general and all the things that I've gone through in my personal life, but also in healthcare. And for the past 10, 12 years, I've been, even longer, always at the doctor's office, and I don't like it. I love my doctors, who I like, but I need to do something for me. And I guess as the whole country shifts into thinking different things, you know, trying to protect the children, trying to protect the elderly. I don't know if they're truly doing that, but what I'm saying is sometimes we have to take a step back and say, how can I take care of me? Not to say that doctors are not important, because I truly think they are. If you break your arm, you may want to have them set it for you. But on the other hand, you know, if there's an emergency situation, you can't get care, and I guess the emergency rooms are very crowded. You don't necessarily get in to be seen for a few hours, and so it's very complicated and very confusing. And I haven't lost trust in the people I have learned to trust. I've lost trust in the system because I feel like more of a number. But when I go out into my backyard, I'm part of the solution. I'm part of the healing process. Does that mean my husband doesn't need asthma medicine? I wish I could say that. We haven't gotten that all figured out. We're doing better. Every step we take, we get better and better. And sometimes, you know, he has to go on something strong to kind of clear things up. Part of his problem has to do with his job. His job has chemicals in the oils that they use to make things. And he could retire. He wants to work a few more years. And it worries me, because sometimes when we are exposed to chemicals, that can contribute to cancer. And I love my husband too much to want to lose him to that, or to know that the journey I was on with Lyme disease, I don't want him to go through a journey like that with cancer. So I'm working really hard at trying to find him a solution that might work. But for myself too, there are things, okay, what can I do about certain things happening? And I'm learning. And, you know, I don't care how old we get, there's always something new to learn. So with herbs, I have a lot to learn from other people. I am not yet certified as an herbalist. I'm almost done with my studies, which I'm all excited. But it's exciting for me to use what I grow, to learn as I grow and as I use these things. And I want to share something about herbs. There are some herbs that you will have a reaction to. You know how you might get some medications and stuff and you might feel crappy? That can happen with herbs too. Now, why does it happen? Well, the same thing with medicine. Number one, your body rejects it. Number two, you might be getting too high of a dose. And number three, it's not the root cause that you're fixing. There's so many things that could be wrong with the medication. Now, a lot of medications have additives. And those are the things that are really not good. I always have to do more research than the doctors are willing to give me, because if it has a filler that I am allergic to, they don't do that deep research. Should they? I'd like to think that they would, but you know, they're only given 15-20 minutes to talk to you. And they're using based on what's available. I do think the healthcare landscape is changing. I think consumers are happier. I don't think doctors are necessarily happy. I think some are, maybe your old school docs, but many of the young ones are just, I've just been reading on a social media site for docs and, you know, people who've worked in medicine, and that's why I'm on there, because I work with herbs, but I've also worked in medicine. So I'm there because I'm reading, and I'm just seeing, I can see the age generation of their responses. So what's going to happen in the next few years, I don't know. But I do know if we are able to grow, I'm going to say herbs, that can help us treat symptoms, whether to make capsules, to make tinctures, to make teas, or to use in our food. If they're edible things, then we should be able to enjoy them. Now, I can't take cilantro because it's the same as taking, and I think I shared it in another video, that there's some others, a few herbs that I can't have because it causes me to have, my heart starts beating, I get hot, my face goes red, and I get this rash that is really kind of dangerous. So I know that I need to stay away from those. And those are things I have to ask if a physician is prescribing me a medication. They need to know that. And sometimes some things, whether it's medication or herbs, it might just be a minor reaction. But in some cases, when it's that bad, where it could potentially be anaphylactic, I am more cautious. So please know that herbs are awesome. They're God's gift to us. But all of our bodies are very, very different, and we need to be alert to that. So if you have somebody, and this happened in the Limey groups that I was in, everybody will say, well, you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It gets to the point where some of them were showing their supplement boxes, and they were showing their medicine boxes. And seriously, I had a lot of medicines and herbs and stuff too, and it's just, they're massive when you're fighting Lyme disease. Well, I didn't want that in my life. But you have to understand that herbs can help in the same way, but you have to be careful when you start using them. Start with one at a time, and then see how your body responds. And please understand, some herbs can interact with herbs. Some herbs can interact with medicine. And if you're not doing your due diligence to find that out, then you could do more harm than what you mean to do by good. So be well aware that herbs are fabulous. I really love them. I'm very, very careful. When I share something new with my husband, he kind of, what's this going to do to me? And I share with him the potential side effects. Unlike what you might get from a doctor's office where they might say, most people handle it. That's the typical answer, and I've gotten it too. But when my husband asks, or anybody else, I would tell him, these are the side effects that could potentially happen. But these are the good things that can happen. Do you want to try it? Now, for myself, for my husband, we try a little bit at a time. Like when I first did valerian root, I did 1 capsule. And I'll tell you that, that gave me like a high. And so I took that at night and I went to bed because I don't like that feeling. And how do I know what a high feeling is? Well, I never did drugs in school. I never did any of that stuff, and I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink. I use wine, and I use vodka and a few other things in my tinctures, but it really doesn't amount to much. But even those, people don't understand. Even like a shot glass of wine, I'm out. Good night. So when I do my tinctures, I do a lot of those at night so that I can rest. Why do I know? Because when I was dealing with Lyme disease, after about a year, I talked to my Lyme specialist, and I ended up having to get a different doctor so I could get the prescription. But and basically, to get marijuana, you need, in New Hampshire, you need permission from the state. So you had a special card, and then you had to, which cost you a doctor's appointment. Then you had to pay $50 at the time to get a card, and then you had to go and spend oodles of money to get, and nobody would tell you which one would work for what. I had to get books. I had to do research and find out what kinds worked. And I finally found a couple that I could use for headache, one for sleep, but I used them for a short while. I didn't like them, and so finally I stopped. So I never got my card renewed because it worked for me, but it wasn't something that I wanted to keep working with. So to me, I support those that it works with. But that's how I know what a high feeling is. For me, it's not pleasant, but if I ever needed that, would I go back to using it? Maybe. I don't like the red tape of getting a card and all this other stuff, but it's like the valerian root. I grow it, but I use it very sparingly because I don't have the pain and I don't have the sleep issues as much as I used to. So it's kind of wonderful to have tools on hand that work for you. So you might take a valerian root capsule and you don't like the feeling. That is how the valerian root works. Now, cilantro that many people put into their tacos and other spicy foods and stuff, I can't have. The salsas and stuff, I can't have. So I use parsley instead. But that's where you need to understand, is that just because it's making you sleepy, is it making you feel high, or is it causing a physical reaction to your body? And that's what you need to know. Same thing with going out and picking blackberries. I love blackberries. But blackberry, when I get cut up, I end up having to come in and doing a whole ointment routine. And someday I'll show you what that is. But I now wear gloves. It's just bitter. So you need to understand how to fix your body in situations like that instead of running to the doctor to get some ointments. But you don't have to go to the doctors for ointments if you don't want to use herbal ointments and stuff that you can make. You can get things over the counter for, things like that. I'm not going to recommend anything because I think there's enough information out there. I also believe that we all need to reach out to our physicians and ask questions. Now, I don't know one physician who will tell you what kind of herbs to use. They don't even tell you how to do diets, but I do think more and more of them, with the changes that are going on, more and more of them might start talking about weight loss, how to keep our bodies healthy. And I think that's a good thing. And for those of you who are not going to like that, think of it differently. Think of it as a life that you can grow and that you can enjoy and be healthier as you get older. I think it's really important, in my opinion, that the healthier we are as we get older, the happier we're going to be. We're going to have more energy. We're going to have more strength. And that's my goal. I know I need to lose some weight. There's no doubt about that. But I also know that as I work towards the goal that I have, then it's going to be cool. So my thoughts on herbal medicine, I think they're right up there. Do I see a doctor for my herbal medicines? No, because they can't. Nobody's helping me in that area. I even went to the functional med doc. I talked to her. Hers are all in these bottles. And the reason I went to her was because I wanted something like this. So I read her book. But I wanted more of that information, not a bunch of supplements I could buy at her office. And although I think her intentions were good, when you get combined supplements, even though they're herbs, there could be some herbs in there that you're allergic to. And that's why I kind of hesitate on herbs in supplement form. That's one reason, but especially if it's all combined into one pill. But also, what you see on the aisles in the stores and stuff, they may not be pure. Nobody's overseeing them, and everybody gets on the bandwagon. You've got doctors selling stuff too, and they have good reputations. And there's some doctors I really respect, but I don't buy their product because I feel it's a conflict of interest. But that's how they make their money. And somebody told me, she said to me when I told her, I said, I'm uncomfortable going to a functional med doc and having her just say, you need this pill, and it's like $200. And then to rationalize it, she goes, yeah, but this could spread over. And I said, I don't even spend that much a month on groceries. So I said, I don't see it. Now, some people will find this to be very beneficial for them, and it works for them, and I think go for it because you got somebody guiding you. But because I know I have allergies to stuff, I think it's important for me to speak up and then just try the different things. And I had spent money on something, and she goes, oh, this will work. And I said, oh, I can get that from my garden and dry it. She goes, oh, this is already prepared. It didn't work for me at all. And she goes, oh, $80 down the tube I couldn't use. So that's why I'm very careful. Now, were her supplements quality? From my research, they were. So if you go to a functional med doc or you go to somebody, even a chiropractors, sometimes have really good quality supplements because chiropractors are very diligent about good health. You might find some there. But I would recommend that you research to find out who's manufacturing them and then see what's in the product. And if they're coming from a place that you're uncomfortable with, then I highly recommend that you not do it. And then eventually, you know, like the valerian root. I bought the powder and I made some capsules. And then I realized that I can get my own valerian root and make the medicine. And I can also use the valerian root flowers in medicine as well. So there's so many things to learn with herbal medicine. It's very exciting. I shared some very basic herbs, very basic ones. So things that are in your spice cabinet. Like you got turmeric. You may not have valerian root, but you got turmeric. You have oregano. You have thyme. You have rosemary. Believe me, there are so many things that you already have that you don't need to get a supplement. Because you can take those little sprigs, just grow these beautiful plants, basil, all these things, and you can make a tea out of very basic herbs. And that can help you stay healthy and hopefully stay out of the doctor's office. Now, again, I just want to say I am not trashing doctors. There's a lot of really good doctors out there that want to help you. They are limited by administration. They're limited by the insurance companies. And so their ability to care for us is not like it was 20, 30 years ago. I do think that they want to help us. But when they can't give you the care that they once did, for me, it's very disappointing. And so I'm just doing the best I can to stay out of their way so they can tend to those of you or others who want that kind of help and are okay, especially if people are really sick or they need surgical intervention. Those are times to actually be there. And so all I can say is do your best to stay out of that. Stay healthy. Do your exercises and eat well, eat healthy, and watch your portion sizes. That's important. I love the food I make. And the one thing I've learned is that I go for seconds because it's so yummy. So I'm on this thing where it's like, okay, no seconds. And that'll help me lose the extra weight that I have. And I got to do more exercises. So we're all on a journey to improve our health, at least for me, or to make it to the end, living our full, healthy life to the best of our abilities. Friends, I've chatted a bit. Didn't expect it to be this long. I just wanted to introduce you to my room because somebody asked me about my apothecary room. And I'm really happy with it. It's my quiet place. It's where I feel at home, most especially in the wintertime when I can't be outside. And I love it. My books are in here. I can come in and grab one. I don't generally sit in here and read. The lights are for today, but the lights are for when I'm trying to make something quick, but I might go into the kitchen with those herbs to select the book that I might want to research and read on something. And then a lot of times if I don't find what I'm looking for in my books, or I find some, I will go on to the internet, and I have some places that I go to for information. And that's the one thing that you're going to understand about me, is that just because oregano does something, that doesn't mean that's why I use it. I actually try it, I research a little bit more, and then I try to make sure that this is going to work for me. I can share some things with you, but you need to understand that I am not a scientist. I only know my ability to share with you are from experiences, the positive experiences that I have. And some other herbalists and other naturalists and stuff that do the same thing, they might not agree with me, or maybe they will have a twist on it. And the reason that can be is because we all are, we all have different experiences with how herbs work for us. So, but friends, I hope that this was informative as to understand where I'm coming from when it comes to herbs. I've been studying herbs for quite a long time, but I started a herbal class while I was still sick with Lyme disease, so it's been a slow start. But every day is a new day to learn. And even when I'm done with the course, I'm going to be taking up another course because I don't think we ever stop learning. So we learn with cooking, we learn with herbs, we learn with, like in my lifestyle, learn about chickens and learn about various things. And it's an exciting adventure for me. Here I am, 64 years old, and I feel like a teenager, all excited to start out because I have gotten to a point where I feel at peace and I feel like I'm healing. And I mean, I have some things going on. We all do. But I'm making the best of my situation, and I hope that all of us can do that. This is a new beginning for everybody, not because of a new president, not because of a new health person. It's none of that. It has to do with making a choice to say, this is a new day. Let's make it great. Friends, I hope that you're doing well, and I hope that your life is turning around positive, because 2020 was a hard year. Now it's 2025. It's time to come out of our holes, come out of our shelters, and start living, and living fully. Have a great day, friends. God bless.